show you guys how to do power rule. So let's talk about what we know before. We know about product rule. So when we do the product rule, for example, we have 1, and then we have 3x squared times negative 2xy. Okay, try this problem. What should we get? We should have numbers times numbers. So 3 times negative 2 give us negative 6. So I bring negative 6 back here later. And then next we handle x variable. And there's no number right here. We have 1. So then it means x squared times x to the first power. And that means x raised to the square plus 1. And we get x to the third. And then for y, there's nothing else to combine with. So we leave it like that. So the answer will be negative 6x cubed y. Okay. Alright, next, example number 2. What if now I have 2x to the third and then squared outside? What does it mean? Square outside, whenever we have the parentheses and raise the power, that means we have how many times of the same thing inside parentheses. So in this case, I have this. So this means I have 2 parentheses that have 2x cubed. Okay, so that means I have 2 parentheses and each of them will have 2x cubed in it. And I follow the product rule now. So 2 times 2 give me 4x to the third times x to the third give me x to the 6th. That's the answer. Okay, let's try one more time. 3, whatever, I have 2x raised to the third power raised to the fifth power. So what does it mean is I have 5 parentheses that have 2x cubed. Okay, I have 5 parentheses and each of them will have 2x cubed in it. Okay, we use the product rule now. We have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. It gives us 32. X cubed times x cubed times x cubed times x cubed times x cubed give us x to the 15. Alright, so hopefully you guys noticed something already. So what if we have 2x cubed raised to not 5 but it's 50. We're not gonna write down all of them, right? We know for sure this one means we have 50 parentheses that have 2x to the third in each, but we're not gonna write out 50 of them. So now, how we can do number 4? Let's go back to number 2 and 3. Is there any pattern that we recognize? Okay, for number 2, anyone recognize this one? The 4 is actually come from 2 squared, and x to the 6 is actually come from x raised to 3 times 2. Okay, And then same here, we look at this. We see a 32 come from 2 raised to the 5th power, and x to 15 is come from x raised to 3 times 5. So this number right here, oh, that's not a good idea. So these two numbers right here come from these. These number right here come from these. How about number 2 and 5 right here? It actually come from 1 here. 2 standalones mean 1, 2 standalones mean 1. So then 1 times 2, 1 times 5 is 2 and 5. Okay? So we can, from there, that means we will have the formula as a raised to the m raised to the n equals to a raised to the m times n. Now we can apply that formula to number 4. So then that means I have, first of all, 2 standalone. I need to know is raised to the 1st power. I need to have the power in order to do the multiplication. So that means I have 2 raised to the 1st power times 50. And then next I have x raised to the 3rd power times 50. And that gives me 2 to the 50 and x to 150. And if you're doubting, you can go ahead and write out 50 parentheses that have 2x cubed in each parentheses, and then you can work it out to see if we got the same answer. Okay, all right, next one, let's do a few more practice on how we apply the rule. Okay, so our rule still here. Okay, sample number 5, I have 3 square x to the 8 raised to negative 2. So I apply the rule right now. So I will have 3 raised to 2 times negative 2. And then next I have x raised to the 8 times negative 2. And now I just simplify them. So 3 raised to negative 4, and then x raised to negative 16. Okay, we can do more simple. One more. I have 1/3 to the 3rd power. So for this one, it's a little bit different, but keep in mind, 1/3 times 3, that means we have 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3, and it's give you 1/27, or 1/3 cubed, and then we have 1/27. So how we use power rule to do that? We can have 1/3 cubed, and this little 3 right here can apply to both 1 and 3. So we can rewrite it as 1 raised to the 3rd power and 3 raised to the 3rd power. And 1 raised to the 3rd power is just 1, 3 raised to the 3rd power is 27. We get the same answer. It's a different way to look at the problem. Alright, so hopefully this video helped you understand more about power rule.